All right, so in this lesson, I introduced the difference between synthesis and decomposition reactions. All right, so keep in mind in a synthesis reaction, what occurs is you have two different reactants or three different reactants coming together to form one product. So this is synthesis. We've got these three different types here. And then in a decomposition reaction, you have one reactant and it's going to break apart into multiple products. All right, so really quickly, just for you to know, here it shows a base forming and an acid forming. So I need to really quickly explain what a base and an acid are. For the purposes of this lesson, a base is simply a metal that has hydroxide with it. Meanwhile, an acid starts with hydrogen, then it has a non-metal after it, and then it has oxygen. And the important thing for you to note is that for this type of reaction where I'm forming an acid and this type of reaction where I'm breaking apart an acid, these are the only two types of reactions in which I can balance as I go. And I'll show you what that means in just 1 second. So for number one here, I've got one reactant and it's breaking apart into two different products. So this is going to be a decomposition reaction. Now notice because I've got my reactant starts with hydrogen, has a nonmetal and oxygen, this is going to be a decomposition reaction of my acid. Okay, so my products are going to be water. So I can put water first. It doesn't matter the order in which I put my products. And then I'm going to put my nonmetal oxide. And remember, this is an example as a balance as you go reaction. So my nonmetal here is going to be sulfur. And then I need to balance my oxygens as I go. So notice I've got 3 oxygens on my reactant side, 1 on my product side so far, so this will be SO2. Okay. For number 2, it shows one reactant breaking apart into 2 products, so this is also going to be a decomposition reaction. Notice that my products are a metal oxide and water. So if you look at your different types of decomposition reaction, this is going to be a type D reaction, where you've got your metal, which is silver, oxide, and water. So I need to figure out what my reactant's going to be. So my reactant here is going to be my metal oxide. So my metal here is silver with a +1 charge. And then I have hydroxide, which is OH minus. So when I cross my charges then, I get AgOH for my reactant. Keep in mind I need to balance. So I've got 2 silvers here. I'm going to put a 2 here, 2 oxygens, 2 oxygens, and 2 hydrogens, I'm good to go. For number 3, notice I've got one reactant breaking apart into 2 products, so this is also going to be a decomposition reaction. Notice I have a metal chlorate here, so this is going to be a type E reaction. So my products here will be a metal chloride and oxygen. So my metal here is aluminum, so I have Al with a 3+ charge. And I've got chlorine with a 1- charge, so when I cross my charges, I get AlCl3 and oxygen. Then I need to balance. So if you notice here, I've got 9 oxygens, but I only have 2 here. So how do I make 9 and 2 equal to each other? Well, what if I make this equal to 9? How do I do that? Well, if I put 9/2 in front of O2, that would give me 9 oxygens. The only issue is you can't leave a coefficient as a fraction. So instead what I need to do is I need to multiply every single species here by 2. So this is going to become 2 because there was an implied 1 there. This is going to become a 2 here. And then this here is going to become, instead of 9/2, it will simply be 9. All right. For number 4, notice I got 2 different reactants combining together to form one product. So this is going to be a synthesis reaction. Notice I am making a metal hydroxide here. I'm making a base. So this is going to be a type B reaction. So I've got water as one reactant. The other reactant is a metal oxide. Well, my metal here is sodium, so Na has a +1 charge. Hydroxide, oxygen has a 2- charge, so this will be Na2O. And now I need to balance. So I've got 1 sodium here, 2 sodiums here, so I'm going to put a 2 in front. 2 oxygens, 2 oxygens, 2 hydrogens, 2 hydrogens, and I'm good to go there as well. All right, for the next one, I have 2 reactants combining together to form one product, so this is going to be a synthesis reaction. Do note that I'm forming a binary compound because I have 2 elements here, so I'm going to have silver and nitrogen reacting. Now keep in mind nitrogen is diatomic, so I'm going to put N2 for that. And now I just need to balance. I've got 2 nitrogens here, 1 here, so I'm going to put a 2 there, which makes 6 silvers, so I'm going to put a 6 in front of silver here. For 6, I have 2 reactants combining together to form 1 product. So again, this is going to be a synthesis reaction. Notice since I'm forming an acid, this is going to be a type C reaction. So this is a balance as I go. So I already have my water here. My other reactant will be my non-metal oxide. Well, my non-metal here is carbon. I've got 1 of them. And then for oxygen, balance as I go, I've got 3 oxygens here, 1 here, so there will need to be a 2 right there. All right, for number 7, I have 1 reactant breaking apart into 2 different products, so this is going to be a decomposition reaction. Keep in mind I only have 2 different types of elements here, so this is a binary compound decomposition, so it's going to just break up into its atoms. So I've got sodium and oxygen, but keep in mind oxygen is diatomic, so it's going to be O2. And now I just need to balance. I've got 2 oxygens here, 1 oxygen here, so I'm going to put a 2 in front here. That makes 4 sodiums and 4 sodiums. For the last one, I've got zinc carbonate. So if you look, zinc carbonate is right here. It's a type B. So I've got my zinc and oxygen and carbon dioxide for products. So I'm going to put carbon dioxide first because remember the order in which you write your products or your reactants doesn't matter. And then I'm going to cross my charges. So zinc has a 2+ charge, oxygen is 2-. This will become Zn2O2, which when I simplify will just become ZnO. And then when you look at this, you are balanced. You got 1 zinc, 1 carbon, 1 carbon, 3 oxygens, and I'm good to go. So this is decomposition.